Hello, I created a Whack-A-Monster Smart Notebook file that I can use with my Smartboard for whole class instruction. It includes a series of fun review games using SmartLab to help reinforce the parts of speech with my students. The first page with the monster serves as a table of contents, so to speak. Each circle with a monster links directly to a different SmartLab activity that focuses on different parts of speech and challenges students to think about sentence structure along the way. I designed this so students could either touch a circle on the board, or if you have one handy, they could take turns throwing a koosh ball or some other soft ball at the board to try to open one of the linked activities. The trick for students is to try to avoid opening the quiz. Let's look at how to create this. First, I set the background fill of the page by right-clicking on the mouse and selecting a color. Then I use the Shapes tool to select and draw a circle. I select the fill and line colors for the circle, and I like for my circles to be the same size, so I copy and paste the circle several times. Next, I add my images. To add them, go to Insert Picture. You can add any images you would like to the page. Once you've added the images, drag them to the top of the circles and group the circle and the image together. Once you've done this for every circle, you are now ready to build the pages in the file. We'll come back and link the circles once we've built the pages. You can really create anything on the linked pages in this file. It could be quiz questions, task cards, or SmartLab games like I've used. This first one, for example, is a fill in the blank. In order to create these SmartLab games, you simply click on the SmartLab icon on the top, then choose the type of game you would like to create. There are a lot of videos available to help you build the different types of SmartLab activities, but I'll focus on this first one. Because I'm using this as a whole class activity, I'll mainly use the SmartLab activities that don't require devices, except for the quiz. I will create a monster quiz that requires student devices so that I am able to monitor individual student progress. Once I've created all the pages in the file, I also want to create a back button that will take me back to the monster page each time. In this case, I used an arrow from the Shapes tool panel. You can move this back arrow anywhere on the page. I like to make sure it's out of the way as much as possible. You can set your line and fill color and maybe add the word back if you'd like. Once you've created the back arrow, you want to link it to the monster page by clicking on the gray menu arrow, selecting Link, then selecting Link to a page in this file. Then choose the Whack-A-Monster page. Make sure to change this radio button to Object because it makes it easier for students to navigate if they're at the board. Otherwise, they have to click in the very bottom left corner of the image. I can copy this arrow and place it on each of the pages in the file as well. Okay, so we're almost finished. Now you need to link the circles on the main page. In order to do this, I select the circle, then the menu arrow, then select Link, Link to page in the file, then I'll link this first circle to the fill in the blank that we created. I would continue linking each of the circles to a different page in the file until I'm done. And that's it. I've created a fun and interactive lesson that gets students actively involved in the learning.